What is going on, people, and welcome back to the channel. Me being excited about this video is an understatement because I have got something very important to tell you. Basically, my hunt for a supercar is, if you're watching this, at an end, and I've got an Aston Martin lined up. Now, the caveat is the Aston Martin is damaged, and that is why I'm coming to see Richard at Hamworthy Car Centre to have a look at some damage on this Aston Martin before I purchase it. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'm purchasing it from Copart, which means that in today's world I can't go and see it. I'm buying this completely blind. There's some pictures of the damage which are very, very bad pictures, might I add. It looks like it's been taken on a very poor camera phone. And you can't go view the vehicle because of COVID. So I'm buying it blind on pictures. Now, of course, it's damaged, and that's why Copart are selling it. But I'm hoping with the pictures, what they provided, and with some research that I've done after I've got the pictures, me and Richard can come to a conclusion on what sort of damage it's got and how much realistically it's going to cost to fix. And if you're watching this, we came to a conclusion that it's going to be worth my time and worth my investment on buying the vehicle and getting it repaired. So let's go see Richard about the vehicle. I won't vlog that bit, but I will come back in a few minutes and explain what we talked about and show you some of the pictures of the Aston. Right then, people, I've just finished speaking to Richard at Hamworthy Body Shop, and it is good news. First of all, what a lovely chap, and inspires confidence straight away. But we've taken a look at the vehicle, and I'll explain what I'm on about now, and I'll put some images on the screen. So basically, in one of the images, the wing identifies as a crack going across the top. Now initially I wondered what this crack were, and then once I got a picture of an Aston Martin Vantage without its body shell on, you can see that this is the upper strut. Now this is not structural, this just supports the wing, I expect. Now the second issue is that because there has been a decent amount of damage to this, and I'm sure you can tell from the pictures the sort of impact that it's received, it looks like it's maybe pulled out of a junction, which is why the headlight is now in the middle of the grille. There were a suspect bit of damage potentially to the lower chassis leg. Now we've taken a look at that as well, and it looks like that if there was a suspect bit of damage to the lower chassis leg, because the wishbone mounts to the lower chassis leg, it would probably present itself in terms of the wheel not being in the centre of the arch or just not lining up correctly. Now this is quite hard to tell because the arch is damaged, but from our visuals it looks like it's all right. Now I'm not holding Richard to any of this. I could easily buy this and it could be absolutely totaled. However, he basically thinks it's going to be a good buy. Now of course the things what I am going to need is I'm going to need a bonnet, I'm going to need a wing, I'm going to need a headlight, and I'm going to need a front bumper. I'm probably going to buy them off eBay, and I'm probably going to need a radiator core support, which basically holds the headlight, holds the radiator, holds the bonnet catch. It holds quite a number of parts. Again, it's not really structural in terms of it's not part of the rigidity of the body, but it is required to hold all them various pieces. So I'm definitely going to need one of those, and I'm going to need the initial front crash brace because that is damaged as well. Hopefully I don't need much more than that. There's potential that I might need a lower wishbone, or that chassis leg might be out. But fear not, if it does need something, it is getting replaced. I said to Richard from the start, and he's more than capable and more than got the skills to repair the majority of these parts. However, sometimes it's just not economically worth it to repair the parts. And my main goal for this is to get to the end and have an Aston Martin that is like an Aston Martin that is, you know, it's not damaged. And I don't want to have parts on there that have been repaired when it's quite simple just to replace it for a non-damaged part. So at the end of this, there should be no evidence of damage, because everything that is damaged is getting taken off and rebolted back on with a fresh part. So I'm going to go back now. I'm going to try and put a bid on an Aston Martin. So for those who've been following the channel since the transporter days, don't worry, owning an Aston Martin is not going to change me, but I'm probably going to record the bidding process of the Aston Martin anyway. So let's see if this time tomorrow I've won an Aston Martin Vantage V8. So I got back home and I put a bid of £28,250 on this. The reason I bid this, I spoke to Richard about the pricing of it, and we came to the conclusion that roughly about £5,000 in parts and obviously because I'm doing the rebuild myself, then I don't have to factor that in. I know some of you would probably account for your time, and I probably should account for my time, but because this is a true dream of mine, of course, the time is free. Now, the first mistake I made was on the commission front. I didn't realise that commission was added on top of this. I know you'd probably like to think that it is. I mean, I've seen Dickinson's Real Deal, commission is added, but the only auctions what I usually use are eBay, and commission's not usually added to the buyer. It's normally added to the seller. So yeah, first mistake I made, commission. So then I'm hoping that it doesn't go near my maximum bid, or at least it drops below that with the commission once it's added. So like I said, budgeted about £5 for parts, free for the rebuild. So let's say we spend all of £5,000 on the parts. That should put me at £33,250, which for a car what retails at roughly £50,000, maybe £45,000, this is a very low mileage example. That would be a good buy if the problems are as limited as what we'd expect. Now, before I put this bid in, I thought I'd give Copart a call, just to ask some questions prior to putting the bid in. Now, here's another thing that they not tripped me up on so much, but I just thought it was a pretty shady business practice, is that I weren't allowed to ask questions about this car until I were a member. So they do membership plans and they do business and individual. I had to become an individual member, which is aimed at people buying 1 or 2 cars a year. I had to become an individual member just to ask questions. Now, I'm only ever going to buy this one car. I don't intend on buying another car from Copart. So I had to pay £100 to ask them a question about the car. And it was literally as simple as I paid for it online, I called them back, told them I remember, and then they answered the questions for me. A little bit slippery, because if the questions didn't go to plan, I wouldn't have been putting the bid in, and they would have just taken £100 off me for something what, really didn't take them too much time at all. However, I asked the questions, and they sent me another picture, which is this one that's up on the screen now. And if you're familiar with the previous pictures, the thing in red is the crush can, and the thing in green is the chassis leg. Now, I asked him if the chassis leg was bent, and I'm not bothered about the crush can. He sent me this picture back saying he believes the chassis leg is bent because the bolts that hold the crush can to the chassis leg, there's a little bit of a shadow going around the top one there, which he believes that means that the chassis leg is now bent out of place, which is what's giving that little bit of a poorly fitted bolt there. When I mentioned that that's the crush can he's taking a picture of, he said it's not. He said it is the chassis leg. So a little bit of confusion there. Good confusion on my part, because everyone else that's called there has been told that the chassis leg's bent. But I don't think that's a chassis leg. And I mean, I'm no professional. I'm very new to this game, and I'm definitely no Aston Martin expert. But I'm pretty certain that is the crush can. So if he's telling people that's a chassis leg, then yeah, good for me, because less people are going to bid on it. So as you can see now, I've won the auction. Fortunately, it didn't go near my maximum bid, but with the commission added, it was there or thereabouts. So I got the car for £27,200, and now I've got to go shop for some parts. That's the next thing on the agenda, and hopefully when we get it, it turns out the chassis leg is not bent. But that's all for this video. So if you have enjoyed it, then please do watch the next videos. These are going to be coming out weekly from now on. I'm unsure how many videos it's going to be. I'm hoping maybe 5. I don't want to make them too long because the adverts will then get too intense for you. So I'm just going to keep them short, 10-minute max videos. And the next video, I'm going to be going seeing the Aston for the first time and then driving to go pick up the parts for it. And hopefully it all comes in under budget. I'll catch you guys in the next video. We'll be right back.